She poisoned the cake. Zara Bennett's scream cut through the engagement ballroom 1 second before 8-year-old Lily Cole lifted the silver fork to her mouth. 200 guests turned toward the black maid rushing across the marble floor. Bianca Vale stood beside the 6-tier cake in a white silk gown, smiling for the cameras as though nothing were wrong. Zara knocked the fork from Lily's hand. It struck the floor. Chocolate icing scattered across the child's shoes. Then Zara grabbed Bianca by the shoulders and drove her face into the lowest tier of the cake. Gasps exploded beneath the chandeliers around the ballroom. The cake collapsed around them. Security moved forward. "Get her off me," Bianca screamed. But Zara held her there for 1 more second. Long enough for something small and silver to roll from beneath the cake stand. A glass vial. It spun across the marble and stopped beside billionaire Ethan Cole's shoe. The label had been torn away. Inside remained 3 drops of clear liquid. Ethan stared at it. Then at Zara. "What is that?" "Ask your fiancé," Zara said. Bianca shoved herself upright, wiping icing from her eyes. "She has lost her mind. She attacked me in front of everyone." Zara pointed toward Lily. That slice was prepared only for her. Lily stood frozen beside the cake table, one hand pressed against her chest. Ethan stepped between his daughter and the dessert. "Zara, tell me exactly what you saw." Bianca laughed sharply. "You are questioning her after she smashed my face into our engagement cake?" Ethan did not look away from Zara. "What did you see?" "Bianca entered the pastry room 10 minutes ago carrying that vial. She dismissed the chef, locked the door, and used a silver piping tube to inject something beneath Lily's flower decoration." "That is a lie," Bianca snapped. "I watched through the service window." Bianca's expression changed for half a heartbeat. Then she pointed at Zara. "She planted the vial. She has been obsessed with this family since the day she arrived." Zara looked toward the cake. The pink sugar flower prepared for Lily had split open when the tier collapsed. Ethan noticed. "Do not let anyone touch the cake," he ordered. "I didn't eat it," the child whispered. Zara crouched in front of her. "Did any frosting touch your mouth?" Lily shook her head, then glanced fearfully at Bianca. "She told me I had to take the first bite for the photographers." Bianca wiped cake from her cheek. "It was a family tradition." "No," Ethan said. "It wasn't." The physician placed the vial inside an evidence bag. "We need to test this immediately." Bianca stepped toward Ethan. "You cannot seriously believe a maid over the woman you are marrying. I believe my daughter was seconds away from eating something you insisted she taste. I wanted a photograph." Zara stood. "You wanted the trust amendment signed tonight." Ethan turned slowly. "What trust amendment?" Bianca's face became still. Zara reached inside her apron and removed a folded copy of a legal document. "I found this beside the cake delivery invoices." Ethan read the heading. "Amendment to the Lily Cole Family Trust." If Lily became medically incapable of managing her inheritance, Bianca would receive temporary control of the trust after marrying Ethan. Bianca laughed, but the sound was thin. "That draft was prepared by your attorneys." "My attorneys have never shown me this." "She forged it," Bianca said, pointing at Zara. "She entered my room yesterday and stole private papers. I entered because you sent me to collect your gown. And then you searched my desk. The document was lying beside a pharmacy receipt." Ethan looked up. "What pharmacy receipt?" Zara hesitated. Bianca saw the hesitation and moved quickly. "This woman is trying to destroy our engagement because Lily prefers her. She has encouraged that attachment for months." Lily stepped closer to Zara. "She listens when I'm scared." Bianca's eyes flashed. "Exactly. She has made your daughter dependent on her." Zara's jaw tightened. Lily is not a door to her inheritance. Security returned from the pastry room carrying a silver piping tube wrapped in cloth. A chemical smell rose from its narrow tip. The physician looked at Ethan. I need to take this, the vial, and a cake sample to the laboratory. How long? An hour for an initial result. Bianca folded her arms. And until then? Am I expected to stand here covered in frosting while everyone treats me like a criminal? Ethan removed his jacket and placed it around Lily's shoulders. You are expected to remain inside this house. Bianca's confidence cracked. You cannot detain me. No. But if you leave before the police arrive, they may find that interesting. Bianca looked toward the nearest exit. Zara noticed her right hand slipping into the pocket hidden beneath her gown. Show me your hand, Zara said. Bianca stepped back. Do not order me around. Ethan followed Zara's gaze. Bianca. Slowly, Bianca removed her hand. A small remote rested in her palm. Before security could reach her, she pressed the button. The ballroom lights went out. A sharp explosion came from the pastry room. When emergency lights flickered on, smoke rolled beneath the service doors. The cake evidence was still on the table. But Lily was gone. In her place lay a white card covered with one sentence. Sign the trust, or your daughter takes the next bite. Ethan's voice shattered the panic. Seal every exit. Nobody leaves the estate. Security officers rushed toward the ballroom doors while smoke thickened near the service corridor. Guests backed away from the cake table, whispering and filming. Zara picked up the white card with trembling fingers. Sign the trust, or your daughter takes the next bite. Ethan read it twice. Who had access to Lily during the blackout? The security chief checked his radio. Her guard was pulled toward the pastry room explosion. By whom? We're reviewing it. Bianca stood near the ruined cake. This is exactly what Zara wanted. Chaos, fear, and everyone looking at me. Zara turned sharply. His daughter is missing, and you're still protecting yourself. She is not my daughter yet. The room went silent. Bianca realized what she had said. Ethan looked at her as though a door had closed forever. Search her. Inside a hidden pocket of Bianca's gown, two female officers found a second remote, a small key, and a map of the estate's service tunnels. Bianca's face drained of color. I have never seen that. A red circle had been drawn around the abandoned wine cellar beneath the west wing. Lily could be there, Ethan said. The security chief blocked him. This may be designed to draw you away. Zara studied the map. Bianca had prepared the trust amendment, poison slice, and blackout carefully. She would not mark Lily's real location on a map hidden inside her own dress. This is a distraction, Zara said. Ethan looked at her. Where does the eastern tunnel lead? The old greenhouse and staff parking lot, the security chief answered. Zara remembered a catering van near the greenhouse before the gala. Its logo had been covered with tape, and the driver wore no company badge. The greenhouse. Ethan and 4 officers followed her through the service corridor. At the tunnel entrance, they found Lily's silver shoe. Ethan picked it up. Pink frosting marked the heel. She was here. Zara crouched near 2 sets of footprints. One belonged to a child. The other dragged slightly on the right side. Whoever took her has an injured leg. They moved toward the greenhouse. A child's muffled cry came through the locked glass doors. Daddy. Ethan lunged forward, but Zara caught his arm. A thin wire ran from the handle to a device beneath a flower cart. Don't touch it. The security chief examined it. It's an alarm. It warns someone if we enter. Through the glass, Lily sat tied to a chair. Beside her stood a man in a catering jacket, his right leg supported by a brace. Zara recognized him. Bianca's private driver. The man held a syringe above Lily's arm. Ethan's body tightened. "He expects us through the door," Zara whispered. She pointed toward an open ventilation panel in the greenhouse roof. Two officers climbed the exterior ladder while Ethan and Zara remained near the entrance. Inside, the driver checked his phone. "Your father has 5 minutes to sign." Lily began crying. Zara stepped into view beyond the glass. The man turned. "Zara," Lily whispered. "Keep looking at me, sweetheart." Zara raised 4 fingers. 4 slow breaths. Lily copied her. The driver shouted, "Tell Ethan to sign." "He won't," Zara said. "Then she gets the injection." "You won't do it. You don't know me. I know Bianca promised to protect you. But she is upstairs telling everyone you acted alone." The man's expression changed. Zara had guessed correctly. Above him, the ventilation panel opened silently. An officer lowered himself onto the metal walkway. The driver heard a creak and looked up. Ethan slammed the greenhouse door with his shoulder. The wire snapped. An alarm screamed. The driver grabbed Lily and raised the syringe. Before he could inject her, the officer dropped from the walkway and struck his arm aside. Ethan reached Lily while security forced the man to the floor. Zara lifted the syringe with a cloth. Its label read concentrated almond extract, the same bitter compound that could hide inside chocolate icing. Lily clung to her father. "She said Zara would go to prison if I didn't stay quiet." Ethan looked at the driver. "Who said that?" The man laughed. "You already know." His phone vibrated on the floor. A scheduled video began playing. Bianca appeared on the screen, holding the original trust amendment. "If you found Lily," she said, "then you found the man I hired. But before you celebrate, check the ballroom cameras." Ethan opened the security feed. Bianca was no longer under guard. The physician carrying the poison evidence lay unconscious beside the laboratory elevator. And the evidence bag was gone. On another camera, Bianca entered Ethan's private study carrying the cake vial and a lighter, then locked the door behind herself from within. Ethan reached the private study before security finished clearing the greenhouse. Smoke pressed beneath the door. "Bianca," he shouted. No answer came. The study had been built with reinforced walls and a fireproof inner archive. If Bianca destroyed the poison vial inside, the chemical evidence might disappear, but the trust records stored in the archive could survive. Unless the fire was never meant to destroy the room. Zara arrived behind him with Lily wrapped in a blanket. "You should keep her outside," Ethan said. Lily tightened both arms around Zara's neck. "No. She stays with me." The security chief used an emergency override to unlock the door. They entered beneath a wave of smoke. A stack of papers burned inside the fireplace. Bianca stood beside Ethan's desk, holding the evidence bag above the flames. "Put it down," Ethan ordered. Bianca smiled through the smoke. "You found Lily. You should be thanking me for making your little maid look useful." Zara stared at her. "You had a man hold a syringe over a child. He was never supposed to inject her. The cake was poisoned. Only one slice." Ethan moved closer. "You planned to make my daughter sick so I would sign the trust amendment." Bianca's expression hardened. "You refused to see that I could manage this family. Every decision depended on whether Lily smiled at me, hugged me, or approved of our wedding. I created one moment where she would need me. You created a moment where she believed she might die. I had the antidote." The estate physician, now conscious but unsteady, entered with 2 officers. "There is no guaranteed antidote for whatever was inside that vial," he said. "Without knowing the substance, you could not control the outcome. Bianca looked at the evidence bag. Then she released it. Zara moved before it reached the fire and caught the sealed corner. The vial struck the floor inside the bag but did not break. Security restrained Bianca. Ethan took Lily from Zara and held her close. "It's over," he said. Bianca laughed. "No. You still think this was about one trust." The burning papers inside the fireplace shifted. A photograph slid onto the carpet. Zara stamped out the flame with her shoe and lifted it. The image showed Bianca standing beside a man outside a pharmaceutical warehouse. Between them rested several boxes carrying the logo of Vial Therapeutics, her father's company. On the back, someone had written, "Lot 19, do not release. Contaminated." The physician examined it. Vial Therapeutics supplied the emergency inhalers and injectable medication for tonight's gala. Ethan's face changed. Why would contaminated medicine be here? Bianca looked toward the window. "Ask your foundation board." Zara remembered the press statement hidden in Bianca's purse. The staged poisoning was designed to make her appear heroic, but perhaps the cake was only one part of a larger plan. "What happens after Lily becomes ill?" Zara asked. Bianca said nothing. "The cameras record you saving her," Zara continued. "The trust amendment gets signed. Then what?" Ethan placed Lily in the physician's care and opened the desk drawers. The top drawer was empty. The second contained gala schedules. Inside the third, he found a contract between the Cole Children's Foundation and Vial Therapeutics. It authorized a nationwide purchase of emergency medication for low-income schools. The contract was worth $90 million. His electronic signature appeared on the final page. "I never approved this." Bianca's smile returned. "You would have after tonight. The story of me saving Lily would launch the program publicly. Donors would demand immediate distribution." The physician looked at the contaminated lot photograph. Children across the country could have received unsafe medication. Bianca snapped, "The photograph proves nothing. That batch was retested. Where are the results?" Ethan asked. "With my father." A security alarm sounded from the garage. The chief listened to his radio. 3 vehicles just breached the south gate. Bianca's confidence grew. "My father is here." Ethan looked at her. "To rescue you. To protect his company from a maid who stole private documents and attempted to poison a child." Zara's stomach tightened. Bianca had created evidence against her long before the gala. The security monitor displayed 3 black vehicles stopping outside the mansion. Men in dark suits emerged with attorneys, private guards, and 2 uniformed officers. At their center walked Victor Vale, Bianca's father. He held a court order naming Zara as the primary suspect in Lily's poisoning. Ethan read the document on the monitor. It was signed 40 minutes before the cake was served. Zara understood immediately. The accusation had been prepared before the crime. Victor entered the hallway and called through the closed study door. "Release my daughter and surrender Zara Bennett. We have witnesses, fingerprints, and video proving the maid contaminated the cake." Bianca looked at Zara triumphantly. Then Lily spoke from beside the physician. "She didn't poison it." Victor's voice came again. "The child is confused." But Lily reached into her dress pocket and pulled out the camera Zara had given her before the gala rehearsal began that afternoon. Lily held the tiny camera in both hands. "I recorded the cake room," she said. Bianca's face changed. Ethan took the camera carefully. "Why were you recording?" Lily looked at Zara. "She told me cameras help people remember the truth." Zara had given it to her during the gala rehearsal so the child could film decorations and feel less nervous around the crowd. She had never expected it to become evidence. Ethan connected the camera to the study monitor. The first clips showed flowers, musicians, and Lily whispering jokes behind the stage curtain. Then the footage changed. Lily had accidentally left the camera recording on a shelf inside the pastry room. Bianca entered carrying the silver vial. Victor Vale followed her. "You use one measured dose," he said. "Enough to create symptoms, not enough to kill her." Bianca replied, "And if the maid reaches her first? Then we blame the maid." Victor placed the prepared trust amendment on the counter. "Once Ethan signs this, you control Lily's inheritance and the foundation contract moves forward." Bianca lifted the piping tube. "What about the contaminated medicine?" "The schools receive the first shipment after the wedding. By the time anyone connects the reactions, the money will already be offshore." The study became silent. Victor's voice came through the hallway. "Open the door." Ethan pressed the intercom. "We have your confession." For the first time, Victor stopped speaking. Ethan sent the video to the police commissioner, the foundation's legal counsel, and the hospital trustees attending the gala. The two uniformed officers beside Victor checked their phones. One stepped away from him. "This court order has been recalled." Victor turned sharply. "You work for me." "No," the officer replied. "We work for the city." Bianca pulled free from one security guard and rushed toward the monitor. She grabbed the camera cable, but Zara blocked her path. "Move." "No." Bianca swung her hand. Zara caught her wrist without striking back. "You already used my silence against me," Zara said. "You don't get to use it again." Security secured Bianca's hands. Outside the study, Victor attempted to leave, but the officers stopped him. His private guards lowered their weapons when additional police entered through the ballroom. The physician's laboratory called moments later. The liquid inside the vial matched a concentrated toxin used by Vale Therapeutics during manufacturing tests. Even a small amount could cause vomiting, seizures, and breathing failure in a child. Bianca stared at Ethan. "I was told it would only make her sick. You were willing to risk her life for a photograph." "I did it for our future." "There is no future." Ethan removed the engagement ring from her finger. He placed it beside the poisoned vial. "Our engagement is over." Bianca's expression collapsed. "You would throw me away because of a maid?" Ethan looked toward Zara. "No. I am ending this because you tried to poison my daughter, steal her inheritance, and distribute dangerous medicine to thousands of children." Lily stepped out from behind the physician. "She saved me." Bianca looked at the child, but Lily did not hide. Police escorted Bianca from the study. As she passed Zara, icing still dried along the edge of her hair. "You humiliated me in front of everyone." Zara met her eyes. "I stopped you before you could poison a child." Victor Vale was arrested in the ballroom while guests watched the fake court order, contaminated medicine contract, and hidden recording appear across the main screen. Investigators raided Vale Therapeutics that night. They found altered safety reports, offshore accounts, secret payments, and thousands of doses from the contaminated batch prepared for distribution to public schools. Bianca and Victor were charged with conspiracy, attempted poisoning, kidnapping, fraud, and manufacturing unsafe medication. The staged trust amendment was declared invalid. Ethan cancelled the $90 million contract and placed the Cole Children's Foundation under independent medical oversight. Every future supplier would require public testing records and approval from outside pediatric specialists. Zara's name was cleared before the press. Ethan offered her a reward large enough to change her life. She refused it. "I didn't protect Lily for money." "Then tell me what you need." Zara thought about the years she had spent caring for children while wealthy families treated household workers as disposable. I want staff members trained in emergency care. I want complaints investigated independently. And I want no employee threatened for protecting a child from someone powerful." Ethan agreed to every condition. He also offered to pay for Zara to complete the nursing education she had abandoned after her mother became ill. This time, Zara accepted. Not as charity. As compensation for the opportunities Bianca had nearly stolen from her. 9 months later, Zara returned to the estate wearing pediatric nurse's scrubs instead of a maid's uniform. Lily ran into her arms. "You came back. I promised I wouldn't disappear." Ethan joined them near the ballroom, where the broken cake table had once stood. The space now held a display for the Foundation's new child safety program. Inside the glass case rested Lily's tiny camera. A plaque beneath it read, "Truth does not need to be powerful. It only needs to be seen." Lily looked up at Zara. "Were you scared when you broke the cake?" "Yes. But you did it anyway." Zara smiled. That is what courage usually looks like. Ethan had spent months earning back the trust his blindness had damaged. He never pressured Zara for forgiveness or confused gratitude with affection. Their relationship developed slowly through honest conversations, shared work, and their love for Lily. One evening after the safety program opened, Ethan asked Zara to dinner. She smiled. "One step at a time. That is enough for me." Outside, cameras waited for the opening ceremony. This time, no one had arranged a false rescue. No child had been placed in danger. When Zara stepped into the ballroom beside Lily, the guests rose to applaud her. She had entered that room as a maid everyone was prepared to accuse. She returned as the nurse who had saved a child, exposed a criminal empire, and refused to let wealth rewrite the truth.